Hello, everybody, and welcome. Today's guest speaker is Melanie Pederson. She is a low-carb coach, certified personal trainer, certified behavior change specialist, and runs a low-carb keto bakery. She's passionate about transforming lives in mind, body, and soul. She helps people break free from negative mindsets, identification of limiting beliefs and barriers to success, and ultimately achieving the life they've dreamed and of what they have deserved. So welcome. Hello. That is a lot. We sound like we have a lot in common too.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate your time.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about your journey, your story, and I'd love to hear your story.
Okay. Like you said, I'm Melanie Pederson. I own a company called Center for Low Carb Living, doing all those things that you had already talked about. And the nuts and bolts of what I did is I used a ketogenic nutrition strategy to lose over 100 pounds in 15 months. And that was a huge accomplishment considering that in 2005, 2006, somewhere in there, I was very fit. I'm 5'1", and I was maybe about $160 because I lift weights, and I was going to college, and then I met a man who didn't like to work out, and so I just thought, oh, well, I want to prioritize the relationship with him over myself. And so I stopped working out, and then I started putting on some weight, and I thought, well, that's okay. He loves me, and he does. Honestly, I have the best husband ever. But then we had some kids, and then we had some financial troubles, and then we moved, and then next thing you know, in my 5'1" frame, I had 253 pounds. And I was giving myself to everyone else, right? We know this is ladies and men too, that we came last, if at all. And I was so miserable and so sad, and I hid from the world. I was wearing my husband's clothes because I didn't feel sexy. I didn't feel feminine. I didn't want to be seen. It was terrifying to think about going out and someone actually looking at me and seeing me for what I actually had put on the outside, when really it was pain and stress and depression and all the negative low vibe emotions that I had talked myself into that's who I was, when in reality that was not the case. But when you get in that low nasty space, and I was there for 8 to 10 years,
that's a long
my
time.
gremlins came out, and that negativity was just hammering me every single day. You're not good enough, you're not beautiful, you're not worthy, you're trash. Like all those awful things we say to ourselves that we would never say to a child, we would never say to someone we love. And there was times I would actually share with my husband the things that were coming to my head, and it would make him cry. No joke. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. This is just the dialogue that's been going on for years. And in 2015, I started attending some retreats and some seminars. And what I really was wanting is, how do I start to care about myself? Like, I clearly didn't. I hated myself at my very core, and it showed physically and emotionally. And I was dead on soul level. Like, I had no hobbies that I wanted to do anymore, and nothing brought me joy. And it was just, I got comfortable in this negative sea of bullcrap. It was terrible, but that was my new normal. And so it was terrifying, to be quite honest, to be happy. Any kind of happiness came in, I was like, oh, no. Oh my gosh, that's just too frightening for me. I'd rather just sit in my poop and smell it. Yes, it still stinks, but I'm okay here, right? Things were stable, and it went from there. And so, like I said, 2015 came, and I did a couple years where I started learning about this whole self-love thing and being worthy just because I'm breathing and all these things. And it was so foreign, and I was not a hugger. I did not want anybody to touch me. But all these people at these retreats are like hugging on me and touching me. I'm like, oh my God, you guys are so terrifying, right? But now, if we fast forward to now, like, I'm a total hugger. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. Tony Robbins all the way, right? And what happened is that there was a shift. But it took me getting to my rock bottom of being suicidal to get there. I started keto on October 24th of 2017 after I was laying on my kitchen floor thinking about going upstairs to get my handgun, quite honestly. And I was laying there, and I'm crying, and my kids are playing. And I thought at that moment, that was my shift of, you can either take your life, Melanie, or you can take your life back. This is it. Like, there's no more playing around in this bullcrap land of self-pity and wallow in negativity and all this. It's like, no, this is it. You know what you need to do. You know why, how, when, all of that. Why are you not doing the action? And I was laying there and a quote hit me that was, I love myself enough to do something different. And even though it was so fake and everything in my body was like, BS, no way. I was like, no, just keep repeating it. And for the year, that's what I did.
Wow.
I just kept saying it. And every time I had a negative thought, because my gremlins were bad, so bad. It was toxic and abusive. It was awful. And I would come up with 2 positives for every time that gremlin came around and had something ugly to say or put me down in whatever manner. And I tell you, when I first started that, I was so mad. Like, God, stop. I can't do this anymore. All I am doing all day is fighting back against this thing in my head that I don't know where it came from. I don't know how to calm it. It was craziness. But I can tell you, with consistency, it started to get less and less and less. And the more emotional weight that I dropped, the faster that physical weight loss went. I know it sounds psychotic, but it is so true. It has to start with that emotional weight, because that's what happened. It opened up and I got a glimpse of sunshine, a glimpse of positivity that maybe I might be able to be okay. Maybe I might be able to tolerate myself or like myself or love my life. And I was brave enough to let that one little ray of sunshine in, and I never let go of that. And sometimes it got big and sometimes it was small, but there was always that one little ray that kept me from doing something that I would definitely regret later, right? So now, what am I, 2.5, almost 3 years later, I am so different, not only on the outside, which everybody can see, and everybody's like, oh, you're so pretty, and oh, this, and da, da, but that's not even what it's all about. I started this for weight loss, but it quickly became the emotional freedom, the stepping into my femininity, stepping back into my power, stepping into the freedom of wanting to show up in the world and wanting to spread my message and wanting to share my story and help other people, because it stinks to be, I don't care if you're thin or you've got some weight to lose, in a space where you feel so suffocated that you feel so hopeless, and you know what to do and how to do it, why to do it, and the people that you can reach out to for support, but you're just so stuck. And I don't want that for anybody, whether you're thin already or not. It's just not the way we were meant to be. And so that's where I ended up, and I'm sharing that wisdom and all of those things that I overcame and went through and still am overcoming and going through. That's the other thing too that I wanted to share, is that I thought, okay, I get down to this goal size or goal weight or whatever, goal body fat percentage, and life is just great, right? Well, no, there's always work, always something that evolves and keeps us growing and keeps us inspired. And that was another shift for me too. I thought, oh man, life is going to be perfect when I lose this weight. Well, unfortunately, life's what we make it, right? And there's always going to be a new challenge put in front of us, because the universe knows that we're powerful beings, and if we're going to get buttons pushed, and that's our job, right, here on earth, is to go through an experience, be able to overcome it, and then share that with other people, so that they maybe don't have to get down as low as we went, or they can be even more successful than we are. And that's my wish for anyone and everyone that is willing to listen to me and my story. Just spread the health and that happiness, because honestly, I view that extra weight on people's bodies and my own as pain. That was pain that I ate, pain that I shoved down and didn't want to deal with and was so uncomfortable with. And that's really the biggest thing, was not wanting to deal with emotions and not knowing how to identify them, right? Like anger was my default emotion. It didn't matter if I was sad or I was actually mad or all these things. It came out as anger because that's how it was brought up. And that was an easy one for me to push out, like, or anxiety, right? Like, so if I got anxious and my kids were stressing me out, and I'm like, oh my God, where the hell did that come from? So being able to pinpoint what exactly was going on so that I could go back and I could deal with whatever that was. So I'm a button fixer. Like seriously, it's again like those negative gremlins I was telling you about. Like it's always something peeling back that onion layer. You're like, all right, I got this, no worries. And then you're like, what? Wait a minute, I solved that like 6 months ago. What is this? But it's just getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Sorry, my phone is going crazy. But that's my journey, and I am so pleased to be able to be here with you and to share with your beautiful group, and to hopefully inspire and educate, and a little fork in the tush for those of you that are on the fence, that just need to get started.
Right. So before our call, we talked a little bit about, I told you a little bit about my story, how I was, I was 300 pounds, and I'm 5'7", and you said you're 5'1". So when you lost all that weight, tell us kind of what happened and what shifted with your body. Because with me, my body kind of just went back to not normal or whatever you would call it, but I didn't have any extra skin. I do have some around my midsection, but not as like, when the show, The Biggest Loser, I know that they have people on there that lose so much weight, and that goes so fast that the skin just does not know how to respond. And so it just, there's a lot of skin hanging. So being that you're 5'1", tell us a little bit about that experience of what happened after you lost all that weight.
So first of all, I am so #jealous of you and your body and your skin, because I had this fallacy that my body would just melt back down and I have my flat tummy like I did before I met my husband, and everything would be grand.
Right.
And like we talked about, I was very compliant with my nutrition, and I was working out every single day, lifting heavy weights, flipping tractor tires, high intensity interval training. Like I was a beast. And it got to a point where I had this thing hanging off my stomach, and I thought, what is this? And briefly, I'll just kind of share what I told you. It took me 9 different plastic surgeons to tell me that you don't have any fat there. This is loose skin. And I'm like, loose skin? What are you talking about? No. And I was in denial. And I came home and I cried for a long time, and I actually stopped working out for an entire week. I was so depressed. This is not what I wanted to hear. Like I was like, no, I'm going to fix this. This is what I'm doing. And the universe clearly had different plans. And I have loose skin on my arms and my thighs and everywhere else. Like, okay, I'll share this with you because we're ladies. So I would do jumping jacks, and it would sound like somebody was clapping, and that was my butt cheeks, right? And I'm thinking, oh my Lord, this is too much for me. And I love the love your body message, and not that I'm not with that, because I totally am. But for me, it was more painful to have this mass on my bottom and my belly, and with everything that I was doing, I wanted to get rid of it so badly. And part of it was just not wanting to go there anymore. Like just completely erase the little blackboard and start fresh, right? And not have that painful reminder all the time. And so by the grace of the universe, my mother gifted me a procedure, and I got an abdominoplasty done. And it was a 360. So they were able to hoist my bottom up. So I can't do jumping jacks quite yet. I'm only 6 weeks out, but I'm hoping that my little cheerleader back there is gone. But it was a nice gift, and not just from my mother, but to me, to be like, okay, well, you were willing to go through life with this mass on your stomach, but the universe said, hey, we're going to give you this unique opportunity, and you'll be able to live life on the other side. But with that, though, I think is the very real reminder that if I can't or won't keep strong with my emotion and my mental state, that it doesn't matter if I've had a surgery or not, that will come back on. And it's more of a insurance plan, right? Of like, okay, hey, you cannot mess this up, or it's really going to get cattywampus around here. And it's been an experience for sure. Like I told you, I'm not a sitter. I don't sit well. I don't rest well. And I've been wanting to go. And what I found is the gifts and the value in everything was to be able to sit with myself, honestly, by myself, alone, and process through all the emotions, not only through my weight loss journey, but through this surgical journey as well, because that's just the next evolution, the next step. And it's been a gift. It really has. As much as recovering from surgery is not fun and sitting down for me is hell, but there has been a lot that I've been able to learn and a lot that I've been able to share and participate in interviews like this one. It's been incredible. And I just want to share with everybody that this is possible and that no two journeys are alike. Look at ours, right? Like your skin bounced right back. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is amazing. But like I said, my skin was stretched out for 8 to 10 years. And that I think is the big difference, is that the longer you go with that extra weight, not only is it hard on your emotional health, but you are doing damage, honestly, to the body. And, it's just something to prepare for if you're going to go on this journey. And I strongly encourage you to do the action. If you've got extra weight, start doing the work here, ladies. Oh my goodness, it is so worth it.
Yes.
Because as I said earlier, the physical weight just falls off. And it's this beautiful experience. And once you marry the emotional state with this healthier body, your energy goes through the roof and your positivity. And I'm a completely different person. And that is not cliche. I know it sounds like that, but I think you could probably attest to the same thing, that you are not the same person inside or out than you were when you first started, correct?
Right. No, you're not. I mean, there's moments where, and there was moments a while back where I'd look in the mirror and I'd still see that old person. I still see that old Liza, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, no, 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 no. And then it started getting to the point where, it's like you change your mindset, you go through all those things, you are worthy and you are special and you are beautiful just the way you are. And I started seeing myself in the mirror and I was like, damn, I look good. I was like, wow, I like looking at myself in the mirror now. I'm like, yay.
That is such a cool pivotal moment. I remember doing that too. I had a hard time just putting a mirror in front of my face and looking myself in the eye, right? And then all of a sudden I'm like slapping myself on the ass going, looking good, girl. And I'm like, who is this girl? Like, what happened to you? And I can speak to that too, where I have body dysmorphia, and I always had it.
Too.
And now it's like I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, who in the hell? And I have to do like 2 or 3 checks, and it's not a vain thing. It's just that I'm looking for the rest of myself. It's like half of me is gone, and I'm not sure how to process that quite yet. Like, it feels good, but it's terrifying and it's strange in the same moment, because I still have that. And now imagine 5 pounds of mass off my stomach, and yeah, I'm swollen, but I'm like, what is this? Who is this creature? It's always, again, evolvement and the universe stretching our limits. And I'm thankful for this. And I'm thankful for you to be able to make that statement so that people can be like, oh, okay, it's not just me. There's nothing wrong with me. It's just that, like, when you've been so heavy for so long and you finally rid yourself of all that, you're like, wow, who are you, you sexy beast? I kind of like you. Like, and it starts to really sink in. And that's the amazing feeling, like feeling. If there's one thing I could tell anyone, like, yeah, this fun sized body is great, but I feel amazing. And you can't put any kind of value on that other than it's just you have to. It's worth it. And if I had felt this amazing and been this positive at 253 pounds, well, hell, I wouldn't have done anything. But the fact is that we got ourselves up to these weights because we weren't happy, because we were stuck. We were feeling hopeless and all this crappy stuff. But honestly, that's what this is all about. It's not about the weight. It's not about that jean size, girls. It's not about that the scale number. It's not about anything but your own personal happiness. And I think the biggest thing is to accept that you are worthy and deserving of being happy. And I know that seems so simplistic, but when you really think about stuff, that is what this is all about.
Yeah. I mean, I was in a unhappy hole for a really long time. I mean, I have a lot of the same things, similar stories as you. I mean, there were times where I'm like, I should just kill myself because, hey, why not? And, I mean, I was addicted to all kinds of pills and I drank a lot. And I mean, I put myself in situations where, I shouldn't have never put myself in situations. I was sexually assaulted, I had an abortion at one time. There was just, I like so many things that I did not value myself, and I did not look at myself as being worthy at all. And I didn't have the best childhood either. And, you literally have to hit rock bottom before you realize that you need to do something and need to turn your life around. And it wasn't, what for me, I mean, yeah, I mean, I put myself in this, in this bigger shell, and it's like, I ate my feelings, I was an emotional eater. And, I'd always, eat. I mean, I went from one extreme to the other because I was anorexic when I was younger. And then I went from one extreme to the other, and I went, and I binge ate. And so I got up to that 300 pounds. And then, similar, I lost 105 pounds in 13 months. So but I still continued to yo-yo because I didn't change my mindset, and I didn't change those patterns, those limiting beliefs that were going on, those behaviors that I had, over and over and over again. And so it took me, a long time to get through all those things. And so that's what I help women now do is, change those. So we're very, very, very similar in our teachings and our coachings. I was like, oh, wow, this is really cool. I love this.
No, I'm so excited, blessed to know you.
Yes, yay. I'm glad that we got introduced. So
no kidding. Thank you, universe.
Right.
And at the right time too. This is just amazing that our paths cross. It's universal synchronicity. I just feel so blessed. And again, I'm just so thankful for you and for everyone watching and listening. I hope that you can learn from the dialogue that's going back and forth here, that it is safe to be happy. It is the most freeing feeling to take care of yourself and to put yourself first and to be unafraid to let your light shine and be your true self. Honestly, I know that it's scary as hell because I've been in those shoes too, but on the other side of the swamp, it's amazing. Come on over. Like, let's get on those swamp boots. Liza, let's go and get some people out, because that's how I feel. I'm like, I'll rowboat out there. Hell, I'll swim in the shit with you if that's what you need at the moment to get you over here to this beautiful oasis. Because it's there, ladies. It is so there. You have to believe it, to believe in yourself, and you just have to put baby steps. One foot in front of the other. It doesn't matter how fast. Just go in the direction of your health and your well-being and your happiness.
Wonderful. So do you have anything else to add to our conversation here? Anything else? Any tidbits? Any little...
I would just say, just from my own personal experience in my years of depression and whatnot, and I'm not saying that everyone needs to go full on keto or low carb, but I will tell you that cutting back on sugar was instrumental on getting like that little bit of sunshine that I was telling you about and getting out of that hazy fog. Because when I would get stressed or I didn't want to feel an emotion, I would whip up homemade cookie dough, like chocolate chip cookies, and I would eat it raw until I felt like I was going to pass out. I had a stomach ache. I wanted to go throw up. Like it was awful. And once I started not consuming the sugars, it was like I was able to actually think and process things, and life didn't feel so heavy. So again, you don't need to go full on keto, but watch those sugars, guys. There is really no nutritional value to it for you. Stay really super hydrated. Those are the things that are going to actually help you think instead of getting lost in that sea of negative garbage. Other than that, surround yourself with positive people that are on another level, people that are doing the things that you want to be doing and that make you a little bit terrified, because that's what's going to catapult you to the next level. That's what's going to cause you to have a break in your neural pathways and to be brave enough to take that first step. But that's all you need. You just need to be brave enough to take that one first baby step.
Yep. Sometimes sometimes that's the hardest step to take. And then it's all, woo,
exactly, right? It's not a linear thing.
No, it's this.
Like, it's up and down. It's a roller coaster. But again, it's part of the ride. And every time you kind of take a dip, that's your opportunity to look for the gifts, the lessons, and the values. And what is it about this dip that I need to learn from? Or sometimes it's not even something I need to learn. It's someone else that I know that needs to learn. I'm like, well, hell, I don't have to learn. I'm like, well, because you're a teacher. You were put on this planet to share and to evolve and to help people. I'm like, fine, okay.
All right, fine, okay, I'll do it. Yes.
Pretty much, right? I'm not awesome. So until I am, then that's just the roller coaster of life. And I think that once we let go of control of that, and we think we've got everything according to plan, and we just let things roll, then you actually experience life.
Yes. 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 One last question. I always ask this to everybody that comes
Okay.
on. What are your 3 favorite qualities about yourself?
Oh goodness. Okay. Well, I love how like woo I am like all the time. I'm like so high energy. It's not even funny. People are like, "What the hell?" I was a cheerleader in high school, but I was like a grumpy cheerleader just because I couldn't make the football team because girls couldn't do that back then. But I'm like, yeah. The next thing is I'm loving this body that I'm in, even though there are some things that I'd like to change. But I mean, it is banging. I am so glad that I got rid of that extra weight that was keeping me held down and restricted. The third thing, I don't know. I think it's the creativity and the renewed energy I have, and being able to actually live my life in a manner that's kind of non-orthodox. I do my own thing, and I have that confidence to just show up, and my tribe assimilates. Like you came into my world, and I'm like, hell yes, and this is because I'm being true and authentic. So I
Mhm.
think that
I
might be
love
my
it.
favorite one. Just being able to step into myself and to own it and to love it and to share it.
I love it. I love it. That's
Thank you.
one of my ends. I'm authentic with everything that I do. So I'm
It's
my
amazing.
most authentic self.
No more
I'm
masks.
raw. I'm real. Yep.
Yes.
This is me. Hey, take it or leave it, whatever. This
Oh,
is
I
me.
love
So
you. You have
yes.
no idea. Like, seriously, those are my people. Like, just let
Hmm.
it out there. No judgment. Just like, hey, how can I learn from this person, and what's going on with them, and how can I exchange ideas and info? I don't know. I'm just one of those, but it's awesome to be around people that are genuine and that there's no bull crap, and
Right.
you love the hell out of them because they are very few and far between because of
Hmm.
fear and because of
Right.
those masks that we put on and because of all this
Hmm.
icky garbage. And once you find people like yourself, you're like, all right, sold. Let's do this.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story.
Thank you for having me.
Yay,
I
you're
am so blessed
welcome.
and
Yes,
grateful.
thank you.
You have no idea.
Thank you. Yes. And yeah, we hope you have a wonderful day, and everybody stay healthy and stay
Yes,
safe and be healthy and well, and take care of yourself and love yourself just the way you are.
indeed.
All righty. Bye-bye.